Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. Last time, we killed the dragon at Autumn Watch Tower and learned the first word of Marked for Death. Today we're going to head up to Froki's shack and start a new, pretty long and involved side quest, in addition to looting the shack itself. Let's see if we can't bag that guy. I'd prefer to use an iron arrow. Steady hand 2 is fun. I love the degree to which it slows down time. Where'd my fox go? Need to loot him for his pelt. Did he roll down below me? It's hard to say. Yes, he did. Alright, let's snag that. Mountain flower I almost missed. Head back up into another little mountainous nook. There's a snowbox. Along with his pelt. There's the elk I killed. And we have discovered Froki's shack. Let me go take that off my list. Now let's have a look around before we commit ourselves to going inside. Namely, let's go further south into the mountains. Fox, which is not important, but the little bit of destruction experience is. Let's get a snowberry, go up this barely visible switchback, which takes us up to a hidden Shrine of Talos. What do we have here? Iron boots, Imperial light shield, satchel with gold and a lockpick, a few coins, an Imperial helmet, an Imperial sword. There's the actual shrine. Alto wine, a coin purse, a book, The Amulet of Kings, which we may have actually not read yet. We haven't. This is a new book. The Amulet of Kings by Wenengris Monhona. In the first years of the First Era, a powerful race of elves called the Ayleids, or the Heartland High Elves, ruled central Tamriel with an iron hand. The high and haughty Ayleids relied on their patrons, the treacherous Daedra lords, to provide armies of Daedra and dead spirits. With these fearless magical armies, the Ayleids preyed without mercy upon the young races of men, slaughtering or enslaving them at their whim. On behalf of the suffering human races, Saint Alicia, the first in the line of Cyrodiils, sought the aid of Akatosh, the dragon god of time and ruler of the noble Aedra. Akatosh, looking with pity upon the plight of men, drew precious blood from his own heart, and blessed Saint Alicia with this blood of dragons, and made a covenant that so long as Alicia's generations were true to the dragon blood, Akatosh would endeavor to seal tight the gates of oblivion, and to deny the armies of Daedra and undead to their enemies, the Daedra-loving Ayleids. In token of this covenant, Akatosh gave to Alicia and her descendants the Amulet of Kings and the eternal dragon fires of the Imperial City. Thus does Alicia become the first gem in the Cyrodiilic Amulet of Kings. The gem is the red diamond in the middle of the amulet. This is the symbol of the Empire, and later taken as the symbol of the Septim Line. It is surrounded by 8 other gems, one for each of the divines. So long as the Empire shall maintain its worship of Akatosh and his kin, and so long as Alicia's heirs shall bear the Amulet of Kings, Akatosh and his divine kin maintain a strong barrier between Tamriel and Oblivion, so that mortal man need never again fear the devastating summoned hosts of the Daedra lords. But if the Empire should slacken in its dedication to the 9 divines, or if the blood of Alicia's heirs should fail, Then shall the barriers between Tamriel and the Daedric realms fall, and Daedra worshippers might summon lesser Daedra and undead spirits to trouble the races of men. And here we have another new book, King. It is a two-handed skill book. Of course, two-handed is already at 100. But if I go to free skill boosts, two-handed had 4 remaining. It now has 3. There's still 1 skill book to find, as well as 2 quests. So let's read the book. King by Revan. Gentle reader, you will not understand a word of what follows unless you have read and committed to memory the first 3 volumes in this series, Beggar, Thief, and Warrior, which leads up to this, the conclusion. I encourage you to seek them out at your favorite bookseller. We last left Eslaf Errol fleeing for his life, which was a common enough occurrence for him. He had stolen a lot of gold and one particularly large gem from a rich man in Yalenheim named Swoibud. The thief fled north, spending the gold wildly, as thieves generally do, for all sorts of illicit pleasures, which would no doubt disturb the gentleman or lady reading this, so I will not go into detail. The one thing he held on to was the gem. He didn't keep it because of any particular attachment, but because he did not know anyone rich enough to buy it from him, and so he found himself in the ironic situation of being penniless and having in his possession a gem worth millions. "Will you give me a room, some bread, and a flagon of beer in exchange for this?" he asked a tavern keep in the little village of Cravenswald, which was so far north it was half situated on the Sea of Ghosts. The tavern keep looked at it suspiciously. "It's just crystal," Eslaf said quickly. "But isn't it pretty?" "Let me see that," said a young armor-clad woman at the end of the bar. Without waiting permission, she picked up the gem, studied it, and smiled not very sweetly at Eslaf. "Would you join me at my table?" "I'm actually in a bit of a hurry," replied Eslaf, holding out his hand for the stone. "Another time." "Out of respect for my friend, the tavern keep here, my men and I leave our weapons behind when we come in here," the woman said casually, not handing the gem back, but picking up a broom that was sitting against the bar. "I can assure you, however, that I can use this quite effectively as a blunt instrument. Not a weapon, of course, but an instrument to stun, medicinally crush a bone or two, and then, once it is on the inside—" "Which table?" asked Eslaf quickly. The young woman led him to a large table in the back of the tavern where 10 of the biggest Nord brutes Eslaf had ever seen were sitting. They looked at him with polite disinterest, as if he were a strange insect worth briefly studying before crushing. "My name is Lacifitra," she said, and Eslaf blinked. Backwards, of course, it's artificial. That was the name Swoibud had uttered before Eslaf had made his escape. "And these are my lieutenants. I am the commander of a very large independent army of noble knights, the very best in Skyrim. Most recently we were given a job to attack a vineyard in the Alto to force its owner, a man named Laernu, to sell to our employer, a man named Swoibud. Laernu, of course, is unreal. Our payment was to be a gem of surpassing size and quality, quite famous and unmistakable. We did as we were asked, and when we went to Swoibud to collect our fee, he told us he was unable to pay due to a recent burglary. In the end, though, he saw things our way, and paid us an amount of gold almost equal to the worth of the prize jewel. It did not empty out his treasury entirely, but it meant he was unable to buy the land in the Alto after all. So we were not paid enough, Swoibud has taken a heavy financial blow, and Laernu's prize crop of Jazbay has been temporarily destroyed for naught." Lacifitra took a long, slow drink of her mead before continuing. "Now I wonder, could you tell me, how came you in the possession of the gem we were promised?" Eslaf did not answer at once. Instead, he took a piece of bread from the plate of the savage-bearded barbarian on his left and ate it. "I'm sorry," he said, his mouth full. "May I?" "Of course, I couldn't stop you from taking the gem even if I wanted to, and as a matter of fact I don't mind at all. It's also useless to deny how it came into my possession. I stole it from your employer. I certainly didn't mean you or your noble knights any harm by it, but I can understand why the word of a thief is not suitable for one such as yourself." "No," replied Lacifitra, frowning, but her eyes showing amusement. "Not suitable at all. But before you kill me," Eslaf said, grabbing another piece of bread, "tell me, how suitable is it for noble knights such as yourself to be paid twice for one job? I have no honor myself, but I would have thought that since Swoibud took a profit loss to pay you, and now you have the gem, your handsome profit is not entirely honorable." Lacifitra picked up the broom and looked at Eslaf. Then she laughed. "What is your name, thief?" "Eslaf," said the thief. We will take the gem, as it was promised to us. But you are right. We should not be paid twice for the same job. So, said the warrior woman, putting down the broomstick, you are our new employer. What would you have your own army do for you? Many people could find quite a few good uses for their own army, but Eslaf was not among them. He searched his brain, and finally it was decided that it was a debt to be paid later. For all her brutality, Lacifitra was a simple woman, raised, he learned, by the very army she commanded. Fighting and honor were the only things she knew. When Eslaf left Cravenswald, he had an army at his beck and call, but not a coin to his name. He knew he would have to steal something soon. As he wandered the woods, scrounging for food, he was beset with a strange feeling of familiarity. These were the very woods he had been in as a child, also starving, also scrounging. When he came out on the road, he found that he had come back on the kingdom where he had been raised by the dear, stupid, shy maid Druzhba. Backwards, that's absurd. He was in Erelgard. It had fallen even deeper into despair since his youth. The shops that had refused him food were boarded up, abandoned. The only people left were hollow, hopeless figures, so ravaged by taxation, despotism, and barbaric raids that they were too weak to flee. Eslaf realized how lucky he was to have gotten out in his youth. There was, however, a castle and a king. Eslaf immediately made plans to raid the treasury. As usual, he watched the place carefully, taking note of the security and the habits of the guards. This took some time. In the end, he realized there was no security and no guards. He walked in the front door, and down the empty corridors to the treasury. It was full of precisely nothing except one man. He was Eslaf's age, but looked much older. "There's nothing to steal," he said. Would that there was. King Enope, though prematurely aged, had the same white blonde hair and blue eyes like broken glass that Eslaf had. Backwards, of course, that's phony. In fact, he resembled Swoibud and Lacifitra as well. And though Eslaf had never met the ruined landlord of the Alto, Lair knew, he looked him too. Not surprisingly, since they were quintuplets. "So you have nothing?" asked Eslaf gently. "Nothing except my poor kingdom, curse it," the king grumbled. "Before I came to the throne it was powerful and rich, but I inherited none of that, only the title. For my entire life I've had responsibility thrust on my shoulders, but never had the means to handle it properly. I look over the desolation which is my birthright, and I hate it. If it were possible to steal a kingdom, I would not lift a finger to stop you." It was, it turned out, quite possible to steal a kingdom. Eslaf became known as Enope, a deception easily done given their physical similarities. The real Enope, taking the name of Ilekilnu, unlikely, happily left his domain, becoming eventually a simple worker in the vineyards of the Alto. For the first time, free of responsibility, he fell into his new life with gusto, the years melting off him. The new Enope called in his favor with Lacifitra, using her army to restore peace to the kingdom of Erelgard. Now that it was safe, business and commerce began to return to the land, and Eslaf reduced the tyrannical taxes to encourage it to grow. Upon hearing that, Swoibud, ever nervous about losing his money, elected to return to the land of his birth. When he died years later out of greed, he had refused to name someone an heir, so the kingdom received its entire fortune. Eslaf used part of the gold to buy the vineyards of the Alto, after hearing great things of it from Enope. And so it was that Erelgard was returned to its previous prosperity by the fifth-born child of King Itluaf, Faulty, Eslaf Errol, beggar, thief, warrior of sorts, and king. Why that gets you two-handed, I don't know. But apparently it does. Alright, let's head back down to the shack. We can poke around out there. Shouldn't be anything hostile here, so we'll go ahead and spam Mage Light. Alright. Well, let's head down here. Now this is a glitch. There's a wood chopping block here with a diadem of the Savant on it. I'm not gonna take it because that's supposed to be a unique quest reward for completing Shalador's maze. No one really knows why it's here, or what glitch would lead it to be here. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna take it off my list. That's too much taking advantage of a glitch for me. Let's mine this Orichalcum vein down below the shack. Now let's head up to the shack. Wait a minute. USB is telling me I missed something else. Yes, look here. A collectible diamond just sitting there on the surface of the vein. It says there's also a pickaxe on the ground beside the vein. I don't see that, but I care a lot less about... Oh, there it is. It's not on the ground, it's also stuck in the vein. See, I got the stuff already. Alright, here. We got a woodcutter's axe, leather strips, several iron arrows, and a basket next to a cooking pot. Let's go inside. Alright, we have hamming and Froki whetted blade. Now, first thing I'm gonna do, because they never leave and we can, even when we fully complete the quest, they don't get friendly.
Are you playing hide and seek?
We need to steal everything. Now there's not much in here. As you can see, the shack is tiny.
Well, look at this. Another city rat crawled outside the walls. I don't suppose you've come up here to tell old Froki about your supposed divines.
There's the archery skill book, Vernacus and Borlore, which we've already found several times. Let's pickpocket Froki. He's got nothing. Alright, let's talk to Hamming now.
Don't even think about it. Someday, I'm gonna kill a dragon all by myself. I'm 11 years old and I could take you. Someday, I'm gonna kill a dragon all by myself.
Do you like living here?
It ain't so bad. I miss living with my parents back in Helgen, though. Froki can't cook, and there's nobody to talk to up here.
Were your parents killed at Helgen?
Yeah, but don't say anything about it to Froki. I don't think he understands.
Tell me about yourself.
Froki won't let me hunt on my own yet, but he never shuts up about killing his first stag when he was 11.
Alright.
Until next time.
Now let's talk to Froki, which is going to kick off a quest.
Just what we need. City folk barging in. Probably looking for an offering to their precious divines.
What's wrong with the divines?
They're stolen idols. Imposter gods, sold by silver tongues. No thank you. Froki will not forget Kyne, or her sacred trials.
What are the sacred trials?
It's an old Nord tradition. A test to prove your worth in the eyes of Kyne. Show that you're a hunter, and no simple butcher. Kyne teaches us to respect the beasts, and blesses the hunter who will face their champions. True Nord hunters are those who survive the trials. Do you think you're strong enough for Kyne's blessing? I would be glad to pass this tradition down.
Yes, tell me what to do.
You must defeat guardian beasts, blessed by Kyne. I will anoint you with the symbol of the wolf, the crab, and the skeever. This will compel the guardian to appear when you reach his lair. Here's where you need to go.
Started. Kyne's Sacred Trials. Defeat the Guardian Mudcrab, defeat the Guardian Skeever, defeat the Guardian Wolf. Is Hamming your son?
Grandson. He's a strong lad. His parents were at Helgen when... well, you know.
Do you like having Hamming around?
Well, I can't say I was a great father the first time around. Now that he's here, it's like a second chance. He's a good lad.
Tell me about Kyne.
Those sycophants in the temple would call her Kinnereth. Just a pale shadow of the truth. Like all the temple divines. Kyne, blessed warrior wife, Shore's widow, sacred to any true Nord hunter. She's the mother of men and beasts, and her veil is the storm.
What do I need to do?
Return when you've defeated the guardian wolf, crab and skeever.
A guardian skeever? Are you serious?
Don't mock it, Pop. Even the lowliest beasts can kill the weak and arrogant. We'll try more powerful enemies next, if you survive this.
Alright. So, Kyne's Sacred Trials. I met an old Nord hunter named Froki who told me about Kyne's Sacred Trials. He has marked me so that the guardian skeever, wolf, and mud crab should appear to me when I visit their lairs. Now, we haven't been anywhere near the guardian skeever yet, but we can go ahead and take care of the guardian wolf and the guardian mud crab, because they're very near to places we've already been. Guess we'll take care of the... I should take care of the guardian mud crab first, because the guardian wolf is right by Lakeview Manor, so I can kill it and then offload. So apologies for that little mistake. I'm going to have to load the autosave. Let's go after the mud crab, which is up here near Sleeping Tree Camp. I'm not really interested in re-clearing anything. But let's just head west from here. Am I going the right way? No. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. He's farther west than we've ranged before, so I was right the first time. Let's just do the guardian wolf. He's the only one I've really been close to. Now that I think about it, one more try, and thankfully he's right by Lakeview Manor, which we need to go to anyway, because we have a bunch of stolen stuff to offload. Let's go take care of the wolf first. He's it's that wolf cave I mentioned that I would go to later. Just to the east of Shriekwind Bastion. So let's head down here. Let's get flames ready. You can see the guardian wolf there with his wolf pack. Kill the other three. Wolf Guardian Spirit. Light armor increases 24. Completed. Defeat the guardian wolf. Oh, that's that. That was easy. Let's clear out this cave, then we can offload. So what do we have? Well, we have a novice locked chest, and I have 9 excess picks. So let's break those and let's open the chest. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And done. Alright, let's open her up. There we go. Dwarven armor. Not bad. Now the only other stuff in here are, I think, mushrooms. Yep, just 3 white caps. Alright. Well, that's done. We'll kill the mud crab and the skeever when we come to them. Yeah, the mud crab is farther west than I remembered. So we'll get that when we explore there. Now, let's just offload our stolen stuff, check with our daughter, go to Falkreath, sell what we can sell, then we'll end this video. Oh, stolen stuff goes in here. Let's start down here. This is all good, I think. Except I know I stole a steel battle axe from inside Froki's. And one woodcutter's axe, too. Oh, and I think I stole that wooden sword as well. Which I almost missed. Good! Alright, let's check on Lucia. Both her and her dresser.
Papa!
Alright. Now, the usual, wait till 6 a.m., then fast travel to Falkreath. Alright, let's head to Falkreath now. Sell off our stuff. And we'll fast travel back to Froki's shack and end the video.
Just about everybody in here. Hey now, some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
He's got some good stuff, but none of it is poison resistance, which is the only enchantment I still need. Miscellaneous is done. Ingredients are done. Food are done. Books are done. Potions are done. I'm gonna have to reset before we can lose that dwarven armor, but that's it.
Steal
We're
anything
able
from
to
my
sell
shop,
it.
you'll
Good.
well, oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
Let's just sell that dwarven armor, and we can be on our way. Alright,
Be seeing you, stranger.
let's head back to Froki's shack, and I'll end the video there. Closing in on Iverstead. I have 2 more very small places to explore before we get there. For now, let's catch these pretty butterflies. Come on. Get flames ready in both hands. Alright. Now we can basically head back down here and back towards the Rift Imperial camp. You see that new symbol there? That's it's a type of dwarven ruin. It's a small surface ruin as opposed to the really big, really deep ones, but it's new. It's technically our first dwarven ruin, the ruins of Bethalft. Next time, that's our goal. Until then, thank you very much for watching Let's Play Skyrim. Have a great day. Bye-bye.